They've been pushing about 100,000 a day in this pipe and out into the river here.
Really?
They'll be doing close to 2 million salmon, a steelhead, and 0.1% is all that returns. Kind of give you an idea. We have to get out into the mud a little bit, but you'll see the outflow here against the concrete, and there's literally just a hole from a pipe that comes from our raceways up top, flushes them right out. It's the least obtrusive releasing mechanism that I've seen in a hatchery setup. You don't have the stress of hauling the fish in a truck.
Yeah.
Or dealing with damaged fish. They just literally shoot out into the river.
Is that what we're seeing?
Yeah, this outflow right here on the concrete.
I can see little
guys,
yeah,
about 3-4 inches at most. And
really?
They kind of pop out.
Yeah, I see them all in there.
When they start the big push on the release, you'll see 150,000 fish push through there from one raceway.
Really?
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And are you familiar with weirs at all?
No.
So that's what this is here. It's a mechanism to catch our steelhead, and I'll show you those guys here in a moment.
Okay.
We've got some big fish hiding. They will drop the gates, prevents the fish from going upstream. There's a inlet just off to the side that they can get into, and that's what this is here. Yeah, here they come, yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at them. Look at that.
Look at that.
Wow.
And these
Look
guys,
at that.
if they survive, will make it all the way to the Pacific.
They will. They'll typically spend a year out there. Most of them do. About 85 to 90% of the fish that get returned are about a year old. The really big ones end up spending 2 years out in the ocean.
Really?
And that's maybe less than 5% of those fish that we release have that.
So a expected life expectancy is about 2 years max? 3 years?
Maximum, yes. And of course, when they come up, they spawn, they die, nutrients go back into the ecosystem. Everybody comes up a winner. But yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
That's the beginning of the cycle right there.
That's it. And we can even take you into we'll give you the insight tour.
What?
Yeah, we've got connections. Well, we have eggs that we just spawned from steelhead on Thursday. We'll show you the trays inside, kind of how we incubate them, and then kind of the general process. So this is kind of, we'll work from back to front.
Okay,
so
all right.
We'll see
You
the
can
fish.
handle that.
All right. So yeah, so the inflow from here is right here. You can see our gate here. This is where they'll run through, and then they kind of bob and weave into our holding pond, which we'll see here in a moment. But yeah, every now and again you'll see 30, 35-inch steelhead jumping through here.
Wow.
It's not too often you get that season when it does happen. We have 400 fish that we sorted out on Thursday. Of those 400 fish, only one was a natural. Very lonely guy upstream right now.
Really?
Waiting for a partner. We've got a few. So yeah, we'll go through into our spawn shed. We'll pass our ponds, the holding ponds,
Okay.
and we'll kind of show you how the magic is done in the spawning shed. They'll troll through, and they'll actually get stuck in this center pond. So this
Okay.
is our holding pond. I'll get my keys from inside the dorm here in a second. But there's a mechanism at the front, a gate, where it opens up just enough for them to get in, but not enough to get out.
Gotcha.
And that's where we store them until we're ready to spawn. And what we'll do is we'll use this big machine at the end. It's called a crowder, and it's just a screen. We drag it all the way to the end, drop the screen, and we herd them all the way to our spawning shed where we do the work. And then the left and right side, we put males on the left, so there's about 150 of them in there right now. We put females on the right, and that way we can kind of...
Are they usually
yes, to some degree. So what you have for males is a kind of a square belly.
Okay.
They're a little thinner.
Okay.
And the females are really round. You really can't miss those,
All right.
especially when they're ready to pop
They're
those
full of
eggs.
eggs, yep.
Stock full. The ones that are really ready are kind of almost wrinkled right at where the outspout is. the oviduct.
Yep.
And so those are the ways that we can tell.
I've seen video where they do the egg release and then the males swim over them and do a release and yeah.
Yeah, so here we
Pretty
do
cool.
a kill spawn. So I've done trout out in Colorado, and that's a live spawn. So we just squeeze the fish, just kind of wring them out.
Yeah.
Here, like I said, we'll show you in a moment, but we do kind of conk them out because they're at the end of their cycle anyway. And then those fish actually, so if you're here on Monday or Thursday this week, we're doing the spawning. You can actually see that live and take some fish home with you.
What?
If you're interested.
Oh.
So yeah, you feel free to look down the pond here.
Okay.
Go grab some keys so we can
All right.
easy access in. I'll be right back.
Oh my gosh, like we came at the right time.
Yes, we did.
How exciting is this, you guys? Like, I just can't even believe it. Like this, and it's snowing.
It is.
So it is just unbelievable. And there's tons of fishermen. So apparently this is their fishing season.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's beginning, yeah.
yeah, the beginning, and like it's supposed to be really cool because they are doing all this, and there's some guys here that are actually already went downstream and they're fishing because this is a great place to fish, I guess. I can't even imagine. Did y'all see those thousands of fish being released in there? Oh my gosh.
So cool.
This is like amazing. So we are probably about 2 or 3 miles from Stanley, where we're staying. And then back the other way is where we were headed to hopefully maybe see some moose or something. That's Sun Valley, and it's like multi-million-dollar residences down there. So here we go.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
This is exciting.
This is stuff that should be shared. Here,
I'm telling you.
we'll cut through it here. I'll show you kind of those mechanisms and that inside of that sorting system.
You got a great job.
This is a fun gig. They pay you penny on the dollar, but it's a fun place. I'll tell you
As
what.
long as you enjoy what you're doing, you never work a day in your life, right?
That's absolutely right. I spent 20 years in retail doing management for Sports Authority and other stores. And I picked all my beans up and said, going back to school.
That is awesome.
You can
oh
see them
my
rising in
goodness.
here. You
Yes.
can see them off the bottom. And so these are the ones that are going to be sorted.
So these are the females.
This is
Oh, they haven't been sorted yet.
That's correct. And you can see where the capturing device, where they'll come in, but they don't go out.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
And we use these here to kind of regulate the water flows, which is very important. They won't even have a certain flow to make that jump. And so we do all that regulation throughout here.
Wow.
Yeah, so you'll see kind of the setup and the various pools as we walk through here.
So this water is coming out of the river and then right back in.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so this is really just a flow-through system. We use the river water as well for our raceways, which we'll see in a moment. But yeah, oh no, I'll get it on the way back.
Wow.
And then they have a device, and this white thing here is actually a reader. So inside the fish, they have a little wire tag that's about a centimeter in length. You put it in the gut, X amount of fish that we release. What's really cool is that this reader is able to pick up those returning fish with the tag. So we can actually track the fish from the hatchery through the 8 dams all the way out to the ocean, and then we can count how many have returned. That's how they get those numbers.
How do they get back up through the dams?
There's a number of methods. So they have fish ladders, so something similar to this that allows them to bypass the dam.
This is what you mean by the fish ladder.
This is
allows them to
scale up. Yeah, so put some of the water and they do some other neat things. They use fish cannons. That's probably the coolest.
What?
No joke. Full adult fish. They suck them up in a 10 to 12 inch pipe and they shoot them to the top side of the dam. Which is really interesting. So if you go to the John Day, you'll one of the first few out there, you'll see the sea lions roaming around trying to capture the fish as they're trying to get upstream. Yeah, they've got it all figured out.
It's like nature's show. Oh my goodness, it's like nature's circus. How cool is that? Fish cannons.
And they do a lot of trucking too, so they'll...
We pass the truck on the way up here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So
yes.
they'll suck them up, they'll put them in the truck, and then they'll haul them up beyond the dam. So that's another method that they'll use as well.
With that, you end up with some damaged and traumatized.
Yeah,
fish.
anytime you start doing transportation, they get stressed, and the stress, unfortunately, has serious detrimental effects
Oh
to
my
them.
goodness, look at this.
But they have a tendency to slosh around if you're not careful, and that kills the fish. It can be really kind of a pain in the butt if you have more travel. So this is going into the spawn shed. This is where the magic happens. Good, it's open.
Oh, wow.
Do be careful, everything's a little wet, could be a little icy with our weather.
Okay.
We'll peer out one of these doors here. So you have to kind of sneak up on these guys, they're a little skittish. But crack the egg here, they usually shore up right at the front.
So these would be the males.
This would be the males. And I don't see anybody hiding in here. They're all out. All right. But you can see how the crowder works. That screen
Yes.
pushes them forward.
That
And
is
so the general
neat.
process that we have is that we'll net fish out of here. We'll put them in the live wells. That's what these are here at the front, just
Okay.
holding storage basins.
Uh-huh.
And again, we'll have the males on this side, the females on this side. We'll keep natural fish for release in a pipe just upstream of the weir.
Wow.
And so the female, kind of general motion would be taking the fish. We have already scanned it for the tag. We'll then get a length just to kind of measure up, and then it goes to the table. So we were able to do 6 fish at a shot. We put the tail end here.
Upside down?
Yes, upside down, so the belly's up. The fish is already conked out at that point. We'll actually cut the tail to bleed them out so that the meat's still good.
Okay.
We'll usually apply tags to keep track of whose fish and where they are. We'll then attach it onto a hook where we're able to take the female, extract the eggs into a colander in the bucket.
Wow.
And we take those eggs to the male station, which is on this side. And at this point, we'll pull the male out. We'll squeeze the fish to actually get the spawn going. We conk them out. We take genetic samples along the way to make sure that things are doing what they should be doing. And then we usually have a big tub full of fish for folks to pick up when it's all said and done.
I was just
you-
saying.
You don't chuck them in the river to decompose and all that.
No.
So
Not at all.
you
So-
let people take them to eat.
Absolutely.
That
So this
is
is a hatchery
awesome.
fish. We're able to differentiate between natural fish and a hatchery
But if
fish.
it's a natural fish, you put
We
them back.
release it, yes. That goes straight back out. And
Okay.
again,
so you don't interfere with that.
absolutely not. We try to keep those genetics clean. As a matter of fact, they have a special location on the East Fork of the river here that they'll capture natural fish. They usually get about 16 or 20 of them a year. And that's what they want to keep those genetics good.
That's
and the natural
incredible.
fish going. For those fish that do get released that are hatchery fish, you can differentiate those from the natural because we've actually cut off the back fin. So they have the dorsal fin, and right behind it is the adipose. We clip that. So when we're sorting fish, we can just look at it and go, that is a hatchery fish.
Is your hatchery unique to that cut?
No, not at all. That's
Okay.
that's used in quite a few different hatcheries,
Universally.
even in Colorado and across
Gotcha.
the United States. Another indicator is the dorsal fin. So the natural fish, you'll have a dorsal fin about as wide as my hand. Absolutely beautiful. Hatchery fish are usually chewed up. They kind of look like they've been through the garbage disposal. Yeah, I kind of chewed up and short. Hey, come on in. I'm just touring it out. You want to jump in?
We're getting a hatchery education.
But we definitely do genetics on both the males and the females. A lot of it is, especially with the females, we'll do ovarium fluids, where we actually insert a pipette into the body cavity and we'll extract a little bit of the fluid, and that's preserved for further analysis.
Wow.
But they do a lot of fish health samples that way to ensure that the fish are clean, they're good looking, nothing weird's going
So
on.
you're looking for contaminants within the fish?
Contaminants or any other biological issues, sickness and disease, that sort of gig.
Wow.
Because certainly there's some things where if you squeeze the fish, that can be passed on to its progeny, and we don't want that. We want to have good, clean fish. And some of the ways that we prevent some of that disease and sickness is that in that egg extraction process, we have the eggs in the colander, we do a couple of rinses, and then we let it soak in an iodine solution for about 30 minutes. That not only cleans the egg, but also allows time, just kind of like turtle eggs, to harden up. So that they can be transported. They're just too delicate fresh out of the fish. We've got to give it at least 30 minutes to an hour, and then we'll send them back up to the hatchery side in the building.
Is that post fertilization?
That is.
Okay.
Yes. So once it's been fertilized, the eggs have been fertilized,
Yes.
we then go through the rinsing and then
Gotcha.
the disinfection.
Yeah.
We'll do that disinfection one more time up in the hatchery room just before they actually get placed
Wow.
into the tank, and that's just ensuring again, double checking ourselves and making
Yeah.
sure that the eggs are good and clean.
Wow.
Because you can really have some gnarly sickness, and it's not good.
I bet. I bet.
But yeah, we were just kind of this is our spawning shed, so this is where.
Just looking at those go
Yeah.
look like gutting tables.
That's exactly what it is. One of our guys here actually made this, so this is unique to this hatchery. But we'll take the females out of the containment unit, this holding live well. We'll put them on the tray itself after they've been conked out. We'll cut the tails and bleed them out. We then take the female in a hanger and strip the eggs out, which are collected in the colander in the basin. And then we take that over to the male station over here where we'll pull a male out, we'll squeeze them, fertilize the eggs, and then go through the disinfection process with those eggs. All the fish are then donated, so it's usually given to anybody who happens to be here on a Monday or Thursday when we're doing our spawning activities. By the way.
That's another reason why we stopped by at our way. They had been saying that they got some last year.
Yes.
Soak 'em.
Oh yeah, and you're talking 30-inch fish, easy, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah. So after they leave here, they go into the building, and that's kind of our next stop is heading back that direction.
Yay.
Yeah. If you guys want, you're more than welcome to tag along.
You want to keep going?
It is up to you. So you guys only did, so how many of you guys caught? So
Is it twice a year?
There is, we sorted 395 of them on Thursday. I believe there's about another 70 in our holding pond, which is the center run out
It
here.
must have just really hit, because last
did.
week I had emailed on Monday asking about it, and
15
they only
fish.
caught one. I think they
Yes.
said they had one or something. I was like
In-
no luck yet, Dad.
In a 2-day span, we went from 30 fish to 150 plus.
Oh my
And
goodness.
they just
Getting
keep-
into the holding tanks, that is
Wow.
on their own.
That is on their own. That is solely just having their
That's their
instinct
drive
drive them
in.
here. That's exactly right.
Wow.
They're looking to come back in. So all those smolts, so if you were to go to the weir here, they're releasing fish right now from our raceways. You may have seen them working out there already, but they dump out. And so they have it set up for about a year. We grow them, and then we release them. And it's within that year that they kind of imprint on the environment that they're released into. So we just released some others in a different watershed, and they're able to pick up on those scents and the water flow, and they go right back to it.
Oh my goodness.
It's pretty incredible. Oh, I know. That's one of our release pipes. Those are for the natural fish. So the ones that are not raised by the hatchery, when we go through our sorting, we take their measurements, we get their info, and we send them on their way. As of the moment, there's one lonely poor male up there waiting. Very much.
Just saying, come on, girls.
That's it. It's not a party.
Now, how long will he hold on till?
Surprisingly, they'll wait for several weeks in some cases because they're still driven for that spawning activity. So he could be up there a while.
He won't give up the ghost until he has that release, huh?
That's right. That's right. And really, the Salmon River kind of really winds down to a trickle and snow covered about 7 miles going south. So
Wow.
I mean, it really funnels down quickly.
Wow.
I think we're going to continue if we got cross country or snowshoe.
Very good. If you'll hang to the river, you'll see another release pipe. Follow that to the end and look along the wall. You'll see a bunch of water rushing out.
Yeah, I stopped there last Tuesday.
And you'll see the fish, the smolts that we're releasing, sending out.
Awesome.
Yeah, you bet. This is just one of our sediment pond. So again, we use a lot of the we use well water and lake water here.
Okay.
The sediment pond is important because of all the nitrogenous waste that we get, the urea and the poop factor.
Yeah.
It gets sent up on the front of the pond. This allows it to settle out,
Okay.
and then algae and bacteria can break it down so it's fresh and clean
wow.
coming out of our gate and back into the river.
Gotcha.
It is cleaner when it leaves than we actually receive it through this process.
You know, I've done some mission work, and I've gone down to Haiti, and we've got a whole system set up there raising tilapia
Yes.
for food in Haiti. And so they raise chickens for protein, and they use all of the excrement into a pond.
Yes.
They wash it out into this pond, and this pond eventually feeds into their the pond with the tilapia, and the tilapia feed off the nutrients off of that water.
That's perfect.
And it's kind of cool. And of course, they have holding ponds, for the different sizes of the tilapia, and then ultimately the tilapia is never released. It's just basically consumed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool that all the different ways you can manipulate the stuff.
Absolutely. In Haiti, they have a system. I know a research firm with a group out of Haiti to come up with aquaculture a little bit more eco-friendly.
Yeah.
So our fish feed is pretty much ground up fish and preserved, and then it's fed to the fish. But it's counterintuitive. Feed fish
Yeah.
with fish, ground up fish. So how can you overcome this? So they decided to take the table scraps, all the extra food mess, and they created a compost pile. And then they came up with a large-scale management of mealworms production. So they were able to find out timing, how often they could actually create enough mealworms to feed the fish. So now they do that for the tilapia. Now it's pretty much a closed cycle. There's no outside fish protein input. It's coming straight from the mealworms. And it's the only one I'm aware of in the world that uses that kind of process.
Do you know where in Haiti they're doing that?
I do not, sadly.
Where we were is called Christianville.
Okay.
But with most of the orphanages in Haiti, the kids like protein, and getting protein.
Okay, y'all, I'm going to finish this up and I'm going to go over to Log Home Mom and video some since this is so stinking awesome. I want everybody to see it over there too. So you can switch over there if you want. This is amazing. All right, bye guys.
Chinook, and they're gone. We have sockeye that's destined for Redfish Lake Creek, actually, on our first few runs, and we'll show you those here in a moment.
Okay.
But yeah, for our release that we just had over there, which you
Wow.
this
Did
other
it clean it up pretty good?
yeah, so release the water out, then we'll have somebody with a broom sweeping the last of them downstream, kicking them back out.
What's do you have to keep the ponds covered?
No,
you
not
don't
at all.
have
We
any-
do have some predation. We do expect
bit
a
of
little
bird.
bit of lost bird, yeah. And certainly get some contaminated like bird droppings and that sort of gig. But the water flows really well enough that it'll take most of that stuff and send it out. You can see some of the collateral that we get. Mostly it's fish poop on the walls or residual.
So you guys,
Oh yes, yeah. We'll end up power washing and spraying and clearing it out. We'll send all that water to the settling pond and out back to the river with that water.
so how many times will you go through this tank in a season?
Well, those fish that were in here were in here for about 6 months.
About
So
6
they overwintered in here,
Okay.
and then we've just kicked them out. They spend a bit more time inside, which we'll see here shortly.
Okay.
And another method again for the trucks, I said fish vacuum earlier. That is a fish vacuum truck motor. We can go check it out a little bit closer. Like, it's practically just a tube. Moves them right out of
Moves
there.
them out of there,
That's
huh?
right. We use crabbers, not the mechanical kind. We get a couple guys in there shuffling screens, and we push them all the way down where we aggregate them and send them into the truck.
That's awesome.
And in the truck, we use salt to really help them with the stress, for osmotic stress. And we also use slime to coat their bodies. So if they're damaged, really kind of coats over and it doesn't have those issues.
That's neat.
But it's interesting that even freshwater fish like trout really travel better in salt water. And so we do, it's less than the ocean significantly, but there's still a bit of salt.
Yeah.
We're going to do a night release for these two here. They found a much higher success rate in survivorship. 18% for those that were released during the day, 44% survivorship for those released at night.
Do
It
they
gives
have
them,
a reason
Wow.
why?
yes, it gives them enough time to book it to their nearest hiding spot, find shelter, and allow them to kind of shore up. These are all of our sockeye, like I was saying, for Dustin for Redfish Lake. Feeding happens right after lunch, usually about 1 o'clock. And for a while there, we've got about 400 pounds of feed for all of our fish in the facility in each day.
Oh my.
Some of the other raceways will go in here. This is our outdoor raceway. Just a little different technique. It's similar to what we'll see in similar raceways, and we have automatic feeders, so you'll see a structures running the raceway, and that's where we keep the feed. It's set on a belt feeder so we can string it out, and it's on a pretty much a watch timer, and it just drags the sheet across, and the feed will fall in.
Oh my goodness. Look at them.
These guys are pretty shy in feeding, believe it or not.
Really?
But go slow. And this is an actual belt feeder, so we'll string this back. It has a weight to hold it in place. This watch timer here is what actually drags it across. It's set for about 12 hours when you draw it fully out. So we'll even feed it now. They'll pick up the same smell.
That's awesome.
That is feed, yes. When I lifted it up, it kind of drops out. But these guys are really shy with their feeding. They like it dark. That's why we keep them in here without the lights. In some areas, we actually have to cover the fish because they're just too shy.
Oh my
that
goodness.
one is actually dripping a little bit out.
That's right. That's exactly right. And once it's falling out, the fish are just sitting there and wait, and we just pick it off as it comes out. But again, about 150,000 fish in each one of these.
Oh
here,
my
too.
goodness.
And you got a very slow flow to it.
Very slow, very slow.
Y'all see them? There's thousands.
We have a degasser, so it's a huge tower where the water is pushed through and it stirs it up. It does a couple of things. So it jettisons the CO2 levels that are in the water itself, mixes in that oxygen, and that works rather well. So we don't have to add oxygen, say, in the tanks.
Yeah,
themselves.
because there's no bubblers or anything going on.
No, that's correct.
Wow.
Yeah, with aerators set in the tanks, it gets to be problematic because of the structure.
That is amazing.
That was really cool.
Yeah, we'll go inside where it's warmer, and we'll show you kind of the beginnings of it all.
Look at the snow, you guys.
We take our river water about a quarter mile up the stream here. You'll see if you were to drive down the road, a couple of just buildings.
Okay.
And that's where we're drawing the water out. And we have wells, like this one here is actually a well tower, and it does quite well. But we like using the well for these guys, and then we use the river water for everybody else. Now, when we come in here, we're gonna have to step on this bath that's in here.
Okay.
It's disinfection. It's really important so we don't get fish sick.
Okay.
And all you have to do is just kind of step on it, and that's all you gotta.
Oh, okay.
It's a little dark in here. We have the light set at 25% to get into that feeding. But yeah, you can see 16 rows of fish. There's the animals themselves.
Wow.
These guys have been almost a year. Almost a year. It's they started the pumps on the running trays. They'll hatch, they'll go through what they call sac fry, so the embryo is still kind of attached. Eventually it'll be absorbed. Once it's absorbed, we're then able to transport without damage. They get thrown in here for a duration. When they get big enough, they go back outside. Very much so. Very important for industry. It's kind of wacky with a couple of degrees. We can use some weird stuff, especially when we're starting to talk about eggs. And even if you have a temperature a couple of degrees higher than what it should, you'll have heightened deformity rates. You'll end up like open the tray, you'll hear the banjo playing with the jaw too far out, or they had weird scoliosis and spine deformities. There's some really some bad juju there. I'm going to sanitize up here real quick so I get across contaminate. And let's find a tray where we got some eggs in here. So these are our trays. You can see how many racks we have. There's tens of thousands of eggs usually in one of those trays. The water comes through the pipes and kind of percolates through. We go through a formalin wash for disinfection and keeping the eggs clean. Also keeps fungus and other bacteria at bay. And that's what these towers are here on the top. It's a drip system allowing the formalin to coat the eggs, and we're able to work through that. But
Wow.
it keeps them good. Let's see. I'm not sure who's got eggs right now. I don't see or hear too much water. Let's go find one with water running. Those babies. I wasn't part of that process. I was part of the spawning part. Okay, 1, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Oh, it's got no mark to it. We'll do this quick and carefully.
Oh my goodness, look at him. Oh my goodness. How exciting is that?
And what's really neat, so if you look inside this one, you'll see 2 little white eggs.
Yes.
Those are eggs that are infertile. Those are the ones that we have to pick to ensure that fungus starts growing and causing problems.
Oh.
Once you have one of those that are bad, if you keep it in there, it can ruin the entire tray in a very short amount of time frame.
Really?
So what we do here at this hatchery, which is unique to many others, is there's an automatic picker that we use. And it shoots light down on top of the egg or through the egg. It's able to differentiate based off of color, and it puffs the egg
It's
into
like
a
a
little...
chicken egg where they do the candle, what they call the candle test.
Yes,
Really?
exactly. Same kind of idea. And then it'll puff an air puff, shoot the egg out. And it takes a lot of the work that we have to do with picking millions of eggs at a time.
How awesome
We still
is
have to go
that?
through them by hand, and that's just QA, QC procedure. But we're able to pick out the ones that it misses.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll truck through the facility. And that's pretty much it. This is the front. You've seen the end and the process in between.
So any given time, how many littles do you have in here?
Oh, right now, including the ones that we had that we just kicked out in those 4 bays, you're talking about 6 million fish, 4 million fish.
Oh my goodness.
It's a few.
No kidding.
All right, we're going to climb up these stairs here. This is our feed room. We keep all of our feed separate and independent.
You can smell it.
In a temperature controlled room. We want to make sure the feed is good. They used to feed with wet feed, so this used to be a cooler on this side.
Oh.
But there are certain attributes in using dry feed. So we prep all the feed here. As of last week when we had all the fish, it was still about 300 or 400 pounds of feed that we were cutting through
Wow.
a day. So we go through quite a few bags of feed. but we prep it for the next day, so it's a quick haul out.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit of work. It's a lot of fun, and it's exciting to see all those hundreds of thousands
And that's
of fish.
the buckets is prepping it.
That's exactly right. We'll set them up. We have the outside numbers so that we can correlate that to the appropriate size for the fish.
Okay.
It's very important to us to ensure that the size, the grain size, fits the size of the fish.
Yeah.
So about every 30 days, we go back out. We'll actually collect a sample of fish. We'll size them up. We effectively throw them in a bucket and get a weight and a count. And then we can say they're X amount in weight for the average size.
Wow.
And then we can adjust our feed as needed.
It's all averaged.
That's exactly right.
That is awesome.
So each raceway gets 1,000 fish pulled in that assessment. So it's a pretty good sample size. Obviously, it could be better, but it's time consuming.
Yeah.
So there's a balance between the two.
Is everything that this hatchery does, is it government funded or?
This is actually a dam mitigation hatchery. So this is actually funded by the dams, the upper four dams on the Snake
So
River.
that's kind of their cost of doing business kind of thing?
That's exactly right. We've installed the dam. We need to mitigate the issues with the
Gotcha.
salmon. In order to do that, they have to put X amount of dollars in.
Wow.
So I have to say that this is probably one of the most well-funded hatcheries I've ever worked at. Colorado,
beautiful.
you don't have nearly the amenities that we have here.
Okay.
Such as the non-viable egg extraction?
Exactly, you got it. There's a lot of egg picking with those techs out there, and they do it different. So they have several different techniques, and one of those they'll pour them into a jar, and there's an upwelling, and so you'll see the eggs swirling around, tens of thousands of them in a jar, and you have to pick them as they swing through. You have to be real good, real quick.
Wow.
Otherwise, you'll be there all day picking from the same jar. So yeah, there's definitely some things here that you won't see. Say
cool.
Colorado, Kansas,
Wow.
Tennessee, they just don't have the same
We
effects.
we visited a hatchery in Alaska.
Alaska
Did not
professor.
get like this kind of tour. It was more or less just seeing a fish release.
Yes.
But yeah, really cool.
This is amazing.
There's some neat things that we do out here for
Amazing.
sure. All right, we'll take a we want to show you the head buck or the river intake.
All right.
So again, for here, we use well water, but again, we also use that river water. We have those head boxes hiding in here, so this is where all these the nutrients. So right here is our well. This feeds everybody inside, and we're able to flex this around and do what we need to. The other side here is river water. So again, it's diverted through a pipe. It comes shoot through. We use a fraction of what the water is coming off the river.
Wow.
There's no difference in the river when we're using it. And it goes through these streams to take the sediment and the other stuff. And also gives us an opportunity to salvage fish that come sliding in and protect the feeding. The outflow pipe is out there, so when we find a fish, we just send it down the pipe and out to the river.
How often do you have to clean the filters?
Daily. This is very important. So out here we do it daily for the intake. Any effluent going out, we do that, especially in the heat of the summer, 2 to 3 times a day. And that's because more of the algae, especially in the sediment pond, settling pond, all that extra nutrients, the nitrogenous waste, the algae loves it. So we're out there scraping algae.
Does the concrete add anything to the?
Not at all. Not at all. Now, if it was dry, I know in Colorado they had a big spill down the Big Thompson River, and that caused a huge fish kill.
Ooh.
From all that is from the concrete.
Oh, wow.
They had to do some serious restoration on that, both for the road and for the stream, as well as for the fish themselves, reintroducing them again. Yeah, so we work hard for this area. The degasser, so again, this filters out the water, but then we want to, again, get rid of the CO2 and get the oxygen in. That's really what that's We gotta have a little humor.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we have our minions, those are our compressors. That takes the water, so the water flows from top to bottom, and these are our degassers. When it does that air exchange, it really stirs up that water and gets that oxygen in there. And then this is what actually flows after into the tanks themselves.
Wow.
So this is that intermediary step, but our compression tanks allow for that.
That's awesome.
And we have everything here. When it comes down to hatcheries, most hatcheries are not well funded. Even well funded, a lot of the stuff like the feeders that we saw, that we're looking up, that's all handmade. Otherwise, we have people out there scooping and shoveling that. And that's a huge logistics issue, especially on the employment side. They're not able to support that. So really, I think it's one of my fun parts of the job is kind of doing the creation. It gives you the opportunity to kind of use different skills, woodworking, a metal shop, and they have everything here. So on site, it's like a Home Depot here with the amount of tools and parts and components that we have. But that's what most of these rooms are for all the nuts and bolts. And
That is awesome.
putting things together.
I wish Lockhome Dad's shop was this organized.
And this is where we do a lot of the construction, definitely the garage. But
And you said you one of your guys invented the little
one of the culturists here.
What do you call that?
They're just
the extraction table.
That's exactly right. And the same guy made the feeding trays that we use
That's
as well.
awesome.
So there's a lot of neat things that he has done. And
No kidding.
there are always something new where you're like, man, I do all this repetitious work. And so, yeah, we got to come up with solutions.
No.
This thing is we're working on, that's actually our fish thumper. And so that's usually in the spawn shed when we're doing spawning. But as soon as we pull those fish out and it's time, we'll just push them real quick and you'll chunk one shot and it takes care of the fish for us to work on it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, this is just kind of the garage, but they have a complete wood shop. They have a complete metalworking shop as well. I mean, welding, you name it. If it needs to be worked on, we have the tools.
I'd say that. Yeah. I know that's awesome.
done by one of our guys here
That
too,
is
yeah.
awesome.
When you're doing something like this every day, day in and day out, you gotta break that
Cycle a little
get that
bit.
release a
Yep.
little bit.
Yes,
That's awesome.
yes.
Wow.
The last step really is walking into our visitor center where at least there's some cool photos. And,
Yeah, we went in there first.
You did? Okay,
Yeah, that was
good.
amazing.
Yeah, we're going to be putting together an interactive display here soon, here this summer. Another one of those projects I'm working on. A computer geek spot guy from Best Buy.
I love it. That would be cool.
This is definitely one of the coolest jobs where you're able to take. I don't think there's any skill I've learned that I haven't used here in the month that I've been in.
I can tell your excitement.
This is our lab that we use. This is used for a lot of biological samples. So we have folks from NOAA that come out to ensure that the
Really?
fish health are done. They did that last month. They'll take a sample from each one of our bays. They'll knock out the fish. They'll do whatever surveys they have to. They'll take bits and pieces and parts and sometimes the whole fish, but they're really looking for that disease and bacterium.
Wow.
And, keeping those fish clean. Because really, again, for the hatchery, it's all about putting fish back out there, but you don't want to put garbage fish out there that's going to contaminate other fish or the system. And so it's a big deal. A lot of money and time is spent in ensuring that those fish are good and clean.
So generally speaking, are the fish of good health?
That was fantastic, yeah. So in speaking with the folks that were here doing the health survey, they gave it 2 thumbs up. Everything was
That's
in great
awesome.
shape. And sadly, if there was something that was really awry, we'd have to knock out that batch. But that's why we have several runs that if something happens,
You catch it.
got to do what you got to do, and then you can either try to fix the situation, sometimes with antibiotics, although that's really tightly held. They don't want to have antibiotics out there if they can avoid it. But certainly like using formalin treatments and other treatments, we're able to push through the water to facilitate healthy fish. But if it gets too bad, we'll close that raceway and just keep working on the others.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But this is a cool area when they've got a lot of fish working. There's usually 5 or 6 folks kind of shuffling about and doing their thing.
Yeah.
Great bunch of folks.
I'd say.
Wow.
This is awesome.
So they're testing not only the fish, they're testing the water as well.
They do, yeah. We do water samples here quite often, testing for various issues and high metal count.
And does that give you a sense of the
You're good.
health of the river as well?
It does, yeah. So certainly they're looking more at the fish tanks, but it certainly keys in. So if something is out of whack in this system, again, we're not doing chemical treatments for the water. It's just working the gas and kind of pushing things through. So if we're seeing it here, there's something upstream. And they have at our head box, they have booms, kind of like they have for oil cleanup spills, where we can set them out and divert, and then really push it away from the hatchery if need be, or try to treat that water at that time.
So those things are staged already in case.
They're ready to roll. So if and when that time comes, we get out there. I mean, certainly like tanker trucks are rolling up and down the highway here.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. So it's a contingency effort that they really want to ensure that if something goes wrong, that there are millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars of assets are kept clean, and then we can figure out what do we do next with the river.
Okay, so I didn't start taping until a little while.
Yeah.
What was your name again?
My name is Brendan.
Brendan, and
Yes.
what's your position here?
I am a seasonal employee
Seasonal
here.
employee? Okay.
As a
Okay.
hatchery
right.
technician. It's probably the best job I've ever had, period.
All right.